This is one of the most outrageous things I have heard in a long, long time.
In a case that has been filled with...
Well, y'all, Nicki Minaj is back on X, and she's coming for Jay-Z.
They told us Wendy Williams' downfall was just one sad, lonely story, a tragic mix of fame, illness, and betrayal. But weeks after Wendy's explosive September 2025 interview with The Cut, whispers started circling again. And this time, another name was at the center of it all, Nicki Minaj. In October, the self-proclaimed queen of rap began sending out warning shots that sounded way too familiar. She spoke about hidden handlers, media manipulation, and powerful industry players allegedly trying to strip her of her freedom, the same kind of setup Wendy had been fighting against. Suddenly, this wasn't just gossip anymore. It started looking like a pattern, maybe even a full-on system designed to control outspoken, successful Black women under the disguise of mental health protection.
Looks at Wendy and says, you know, you had a great career. Your career is over. It is never coming back. You're done. Why would a judge?
Nicki's accusations hit right when people were still reeling from Wendy's heartbreaking revelations. Just weeks earlier, Wendy had called out her court-ordered guardianship from the dementia facility where she's still being held, paying nearly $26,000 a month to live under someone else's control. Even after she passed a full psych evaluation, a New York court decided she must stay under full guardianship. So when Nicki started talking about something similar happening to her, it shook people to their core.
Well, y'all, Nicki Minaj is back on X, and she's coming for Jay-Z. So in a series of tweets, Nicki Minaj is claiming that Jay-Z owes her $100 to $200 million so far.
Then came the chaos. Around mid-October, Nicki took to X, formerly Twitter, and dropped a bomb. She said she wasn't releasing her album anymore. She even tagged Jay-Z directly. The next day, she doubled down, accusing Roc Nation of twisting public narratives and using her social media posts to make her look unstable. Fans went wild. Some thought she was spiraling. Others swore she was being set up. But it didn't stop there. Out of nowhere, Nicki's Instagram vanished, completely wiped clean. Hours later, she popped back up on X, posting an AI-generated photo of Jay-Z wearing a pink wig and a queen chain with the caption, "I am your karma." The internet exploded. Some said it was a meltdown, others said it was rebellion, but to Nicki, it was proof that a silent takedown campaign had begun. People close to her claimed those late-night posts weren't random or crazy. They were warnings. She allegedly told insiders that Roc Nation and a few select media figures were working together to label her dangerous, not to others, but to herself and her marriage. And if that's true, then what's happening to Nicki Minaj might not be chaos. It might be control. The connection between Nicki Minaj and Wendy Williams ain't some wild coincidence. It's deliberate. Wendy's downfall started the same way, when a major bank declared her of unsound mind and froze all her accounts, claiming they were protecting her from financial exploitation. Nicki says that exact playbook is being tested on her now. First, by painting her public rants as instability, then tying her finances and home life to a growing pile of legal chaos.
What that got to do with Sister Minaj?
Because there's a lot of fans online having a conversation right now following our interview if whether or not Kenneth, who's Nicki Minaj's husband, should be doing the same for Nicki Minaj, because
Absolutely.
She's online and there's a lot of things that she's saying and
But that
different things
wasn't
that
the
are
reason
happening.
she shot a shot on me, was it?
No, forget me. Why did she come at Keisha? I don't understand. Like, what did anything Keisha have to say had to do with?
The pressure started to show in late September when court records revealed something shocking. Nicki's Hidden Hills mansion, that massive 11-bedroom, 16-bath luxury fortress worth nearly $20 million, was under levy by the L.A. Sheriff's Department. The reason? A $500,000 judgment won by security guard Thomas Weidenmuller, who accused Nicki's husband Kenneth Petty of assaulting him during a 2019 show in Europe. The court had already sided with the guard months earlier after Nicki and Petty didn't respond to the case. By mid-October, Weidenmuller was pushing to sell the home to collect. Then on October 16th, he had the legal notice served right at Nicki's front door. Nicki fired back online, calling it a setup. She claimed, "I have evidence that this was given to a business manager who never told me." She even said that same manager had stolen from her multiple times. Within days, fans noticed Roc Nation CEO Desiree Perez trending online. Yes, the same woman who once got a presidential pardon from Donald Trump for a past trafficking charge. Nicki accused Perez, EO who's known for negotiating major artist deals, of working with Jay-Z to control how the public sees her financial situation. That's a wild accusation, but it made people stop and ask the real question. Could financial pressure be the new tool for controlling celebrities? Because if your bank, your label, and your team all turn against you, who's really in charge then?
The judge in the guardianship.
The judge in the guardianship read Alex Finney the Riot Act, threatened her, and said, "You're talking." Making an accusation that she's talking to the media, and if you continue doing it, I'm going to do this to you, I'm going to do that to you. There is a gag order in this case. I can tell you that the judge has scared a lot of people in this.
To understand why Nicki keeps comparing her situation to Wendy's, you got to look at how Wendy's nightmare unfolded. In August 2025, Wendy's legal team confirmed she had passed an independent psychological evaluation, proving she was mentally stable. Yet Judge Sokolov still refused to end her guardianship. She's still stuck in that facility, cut off from incoming calls, and needs permission for any outside visit. Her longtime publicist said, "This woman doesn't miss a beat," insisting Wendy is sharp as ever. But none of it mattered. The court kept her under full control anyway. Nicki believes that ruling set a dangerous precedent, showing how easy it is to lock a star's money and freedom away behind fancy legal words like mental health protection.
We bookmarked this tweet. Y'all really do not understand who I really am. Bring it, let's play. Y'all wanted attention, let's do it. Then she starts talking to the LAPD about something we have nothing to do with. And she's saying to Republic Records that they need to stand up for her any day now. Then she says, "You'll regret it." Now, I've been going down the rabbit hole.
Here? Why did this happen?
By late October, Nicki's tone had shifted. No more hinting, she was declaring war. She went straight for Charlemagne the God, the Breakfast Club host who's long been linked to Jay-Z through iHeartRadio, accusing him of being part of the same machine that destroyed Wendy. She even tied her 4 recent police encounters, including what she says were fake SWAT calls at her home, to a coordinated campaign of harassment meant to make her look paranoid. Nicki publicly called out the LAPD, demanding, "Where's the evidence of 4 armed raids with a toddler inside?" So far, the department hasn't commented, but fans online have dug up footage and timestamps of emergency vehicles near her neighborhood that line up with her claims. Something's clearly happening behind those gates, and Nicki's not backing down. Nicki Minaj's marriage has become the biggest bullseye in this entire storm, the easiest weapon for critics to use against her. Her husband, Kenneth Petty, is still under supervised probation and recently finished a 120-day home confinement for breaking federal supervision rules. To Nicki's fans, his criminal past has been unfairly dragged out just to shame her and wreck her credibility. But to her haters, it's proof that chaos follows her everywhere. Either way, the narrative keeps circling back to the same idea, that Nicki's one emotional moment away from being labeled unfit, the kind of setup that makes a conservatorship seem reasonable.
How she feels. She feels like blogs and online platforms don't touch what she's saying, and they don't cover all of her words fully because it's Jay-Z and Roc Nation.
Well, I'll tell you this, I have no idea about their business, but if someone owed me $200 million, then I would be in court, not on X, and I guarantee you if she ever took that to court, that would be a huge...
People in LA's entertainment law circles are quietly saying this all feels too familiar. They're seeing patterns that match Wendy Williams' situation step for step. It always starts small. A few lawsuits, an unpaid judgment here, a shady manager there. And suddenly the public starts seeing a star as unstable. Once that image sticks, getting a court to sign off on guardianship becomes easy money for whoever's pulling the strings. That legal move doesn't just take control of a person's day-to-day life. It also unlocks royalties, publishing rights, brand deals, and estate control. Nicki's recent post accusing Jay-Z of trying to seize her Tidal equity, which she claims is worth over $100 million, shows she's connecting the dots in real time. She believes the goal isn't just to silence her, it's to own her.
Fear is that, you know how they play. You know, okay, you know what, we got to get the heat off of him. Some people figured it out. Some people that's in the industry, they know what's going on. They get it.
Meanwhile, Roc Nation has kept completely silent. Neither Jay-Z nor CEO Desiree Perez has addressed a single one of Nicki's explosive allegations. Fans say that silence speaks volumes. With Nicki's Instagram deleted, her X feed turning cryptic, and major outlets suddenly publishing hit pieces about her, it's no wonder people think there's more going on behind the curtain. The optics are loud, and they don't look good.
Let's get to this, right? So Nicki Minaj is on X right now, and she is sounding off following our interview with Gucci Mane and Keisha Kayor, his wife, and she says, Gucci wife has been trying to be me for years, been for the spotlight for years. She's there to keep Gucci.
Nicki's next moves only turned the fire up higher. Her AI image of Jay-Z in a pink wig went viral across every platform. Then came her wild claim that Gucci Mane's wife allegedly keeps him sedated, a comment that sparked a whole new debate about how mental health might be used as a weapon of control in the industry. And when she called out Republic Records saying, "Stand up for me," fans took it as a hint that even her label might be scared to defend her publicly. Now, if Nicki's claims are overblown, it might mean we're watching a superstar unravel under insane pressure. But if she's telling the truth, then we're looking at something bigger, a system that punishes strong women by labeling them unstable. Because let's be real, Wendy's still locked in a facility she doesn't want to be in, stripped of her independence. And Nicki, she's out here talking about surveillance, stolen money, and psychological manipulation. Both women, powerful, iconic, and unapologetically black, now shadowed by the same whispers of instability and control. And in every chapter of these stories, the same names keep popping up: Roc Nation, Desiree Perez, Jay-Z, each connected to these moments of downfall. So now we're left staring at one haunting question. If Nicki's right and her marriage to Kenneth Petty is the only legal shield protecting her from forced guardianship, how long before they try to take that too? Now the stakes are way higher than some messy online feud. This isn't just about shade or tweets anymore. The real question isn't if Roc Nation wants Nicki Minaj quiet, it's how far they're willing to go to make that happen.
Nicki Minaj, she went on another Twitter rant, and she still got Jay-Z and Roc Nation in every tweet. She be wilding on them. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't never seen nobody come at Jay-Z this hard.
For Nicki, Kenneth Petty has turned into more than just her husband. He's her final shield against total takeover. Every headline, every leak, every viral clip feels aimed at tearing that bond apart. These attacks on Petty ain't just about his criminal record or his past mistakes. They're precision hits, carefully designed to weaken the only person who legally shares control over Nicki's empire. If he goes down, so does her protection from a conservatorship. Then came the bombshell tweet from Cardi B in October, claiming Petty was using Nicki's card while she's sedated. That wasn't just shade. It felt like a loaded accusation. Fans saw it for what it looked like, a coordinated move to paint Petty as both a manipulator and an enabler, the kind of image that makes Nicki look like she's too unstable to manage her home or money. And the timing couldn't have been worse. Around the same week that Cardi's tweet blew up, that $500,000 judgment from the 2019 Weidenmuller case suddenly resurfaced. By mid-October, court documents confirmed that the LA Sheriff's Department had slapped a levy on Nicki's $20 million Hidden Hills mansion. The case was old news, a backstage altercation in Germany years ago. But somehow, the enforcement came roaring back right when Nicki's new album, NM6, was about to launch its marketing phase. Same week she accused Roc Nation of psychological warfare. Her home was suddenly on the line for auction. Come on, coincidence or carefully timed orchestration? Because it's starting to look like every financial jab is part of a much bigger play. We've seen this exact playbook before. Financial pressure leads to public humiliation. Humiliation becomes proof of instability, and instability becomes justification for legal intervention. That's the same cycle that turned Wendy Williams from TV royalty into a ward of the court. The same play that nearly consumed Britney Spears. Both women were single, both isolated, and both had no legal safety nets to protect their estates once the system came knocking. But Nicki's situation is different. She's married, and that seems to be the one thing standing between her and total control. Insiders are whispering that this is exactly why the heat's been redirected toward Petty, because if they can destroy his credibility, they can strip away Nicki's last legal buffer. Once that's gone, she'd be vulnerable to guardianship petitions from managers, accountants, or concerned parties claiming she can't handle her business.
I thought that was fair commentary, but Nicki Minaj thought otherwise. Now, Lauren LaRosa, LL Cool J, read what she tweeted about the Breakfast Club.
She said, Charlamagne, did you put that bleaching cream on your too?
Did you?
She then tagged the President of the United States and asked him to lock us all up. Imagine if you called yourself Trump.
While tabloids focus on the House levy, there's a second war happening right in front of us, the money war. On October 15th, Nicki went nuclear online, publicly accusing Jay-Z of owing her up to $200 million tied to her original stake in Tidal, the music streaming platform. She claimed her equity was deliberately undervalued, that she only got a fraction of what she was owed. That same day, she threatened to cancel NM6 altogether, posting that she was done with music and tagging Jay-Z directly, writing, "Hope you're happy now." That wasn't exhaustion talking, that was pure rebellion. If what she's saying is true, walking away from her album wouldn't just be a creative decision, it'd be a power move. Because by refusing to release it, Nicki would be cutting off a massive payday from Roc Nation and its partners, blocking the exact project they were allegedly counting on to tour, market, and profit from. So when you zoom out, Nicki's fight isn't just about music anymore, it's about money, control, and survival. Every post, every accusation, every meltdown might not be chaos, it might be strategy. Because if she's right, Nicki Minaj isn't losing her grip, she's refusing to hand it over. Nicki's next round of posts took things from heated to nuclear. They came begging for a tour and album, and I said no, she wrote, throwing direct shots at the execs she claimed once controlled her every move. She mocked the company's financial struggles, taunted their desperation, and made it clear that every peace offering was really a power play. Nicki said they didn't want to make amends. They wanted leverage to get her tied up in more contracts, trapped in paperwork, and back under their thumb. But with every defiant no, the storm around her grew louder. Suddenly, talk show hosts were diagnosing her mental state on air, gossip blogs were concerned for her well-being, and anonymous music insiders were whispering that NM6 might be cursed. The coverage felt eerily familiar, the same kind of narrative sculpting we've seen before, where public opinion is carefully shaped before any legal move even hits the table.
He has all those accolades, all that success, and still manages to come off as miserable. Like, how do you beef with everybody? Lil' Kim, Remy Ma, Cardi, Megan Thee Stallion, Lotto, Mariah Carey. Like, that's not a pink print. That's a stink print. Okay, Nicki energy just comes off as nasty and stink. That's what y'all should be called. It's a stink.
And behind all the drama, the numbers tell a wild story of their own. According to court filings, Nicki's Hidden Hills mansion sits on a $13 million mortgage with about $6 million in equity. Easily enough to pay off that $500,000 judgment and still leave millions untouched. Yet the push to seize her property hasn't stopped for a second. Even the creditor's own lawyer admitted Nicki's net worth tops $150 million. So if the money isn't the issue, then why the obsession with selling her home? To skeptics, it doesn't look like debt collection. It looks like humiliation. A reminder that no matter how rich or powerful an artist is, they can still be dragged into submission if they defy the wrong people. By the end of October, Nicki's rebellion had turned symbolic, bigger than music, bigger than fame. She told her fans she could revolutionize the game again, all on her own. She spoke about documentaries, audiobooks, and independent releases that would bypass the corporate gatekeepers who once helped her rise. "I don't need the system I built," she hinted, a shot straight at the heart of the industry machine. But everyone in Hollywood knows independence can be dangerous. Former managers have said it for years. When an artist refuses a contract, the industry doesn't forget or forgive. They either rebrand you as unstable or make sure your name vanishes from playlists and press. Nicki seems to know that, and yet she's not backing down. Still, it's risky because every fiery post, every rant, every meltdown online could later be twisted into evidence that she needs professional supervision. Even when Charlemagne the God called her behavior stank and nasty, Nicki clapped back instantly, pointing straight at his ties to Jay-Z. "He was around Wendy before her life went to hell," she wrote, implying that the same network of powerful personalities is playing a hand in both women's downfalls. Whether it's coincidence or something far darker, the parallel is chilling. Look at the pattern. Wendy Williams confined to a controlled facility even after passing her mental evaluation, and now Nicki Minaj battling rumors, raids, and what looks like a full-blown PR takedown. Two outspoken, financially independent black women, both surrounded by corporate silence.
With August, I've always spoken to her, and she's always wanted me to spend her money.
And now the question that everyone's asking, what happens next? If NM6 really drops in March 2026, it could either spark Nicki's greatest comeback or become the final act before she's legally contained. Industry insiders are already predicting more leaks, more lawsuits, and even more orchestrated chaos meant to chip away at her public image before the release. Meanwhile, her fans, the Barbs, have turned her social media posts into decoding missions. They treat every cryptic message like a breadcrumb, a hidden clue that points to a bigger war between one artist and the empire that once crowned her, and that's where we are, standing at the edge of the story, staring into the unknown. Is Nicki Minaj exposing a real sinister pattern of control buried inside the music industry? Or is she being slowly pushed toward the same tragic fate she's fighting to escape? And most of all, will Kenneth Petty remain her last line of defense or become the very doorway that lets them take everything she's fought to keep? We're keeping our eyes glued to every post, every headline, every single court filing, because if Nicki's right, the next chapter of her life won't just change her story, it could shake up the entire music industry. This isn't just about fame anymore. It's about who really holds the power, who controls the money, and how far they'll go to silence the voices that refuse to play by their rules. So what do you think? Is Nicki losing it? Or is she finally pulling back the curtain on something way bigger than any of us imagined? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear your take. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and turn on those notifications, because this story's nowhere near done. Stay locked in, and we'll see you on the next one.